Hey, good morning, everyone. What's happening? What's going on? Please do me a favor. Go into the chat and share something about your weekend. Just give us something about your weekend, something maybe you've tried for the first time, you're interested in doing. You went out and garden, whatever that is, put that in the chat. I see you, Deborah Johnson. Good morning. Yes, girl, the rain is glorious. Rain is falling in Columbus, Ohio. I agree with you. Thank you, Jesus. What's up, Robert Holman? He says, Grand Rising, may the Lord be with you today and also with you. I see you, Shardinia, coming in here. What's up, Regina Shorts? Good morning to you. What's up, Marion Jackson? Good morning to you. Dr. Antoinette, what's happening? Good morning, good morning, good morning. So please just put in the chat something that you participated in this past weekend. I really want y'all to do that because I got something too. Listen, today is Tuesday, September 24th. I have a lot of news. And as you all realize, we are leading up to the general election. So just hang in there with us. We're going to be giving you information that I believe we all need so that when we are out here voting or having conversation with other people, we can do so. Happy birthday to you, Dr. Antoinette. Y'all, it was her birthday this past weekend, or Friday or something like that, right? Put in the date. Let's shower her with some birthday love. It was her birthday, so happy birthday once again to you. While you're doing that, while you're putting this in here, I want to share our vote gear. Y'all know I had that shirt on last Thursday, the black with the olive. We have them V-neck, we have them sweatshirts, we have them short sleeve, we have them crew neck, we have them for men and women. There's an assortment of sizes, and it does create a conversation. I cannot tell you how many conversations people walk up to me, ask me about the sweatshirt, say they love it. They said, who designed it? I said, actually, it was my vision, but Pastor Carl Wright actually designed it for me. He was able to capture my vision. I tried to pencil it out on a piece of paper and he just laughed at me, but he was able to put it together. You can get those on the website, gaildudley.com/shop, or you can just go to gaildudley.com and hit the shop icon. There's 4 or 5 pages worth of filled with merch, but that vote t-shirt is so important in this season. So let me see what you all are saying. Deborah said I had the best time at OSU game with our host, Gail Dudley. It was her first time in the shoe. Listen, thank you, Deborah, for putting that out there because that's what I want to talk about. Y'all, I had a blast. You would have thought I was a child in the candy store. I had a phenomenal time with Deborah Johnson. She invited me to the shoe, to the Ohio State University football game. We went through some tailgate. We had some breakfast at Panera because it's an all-day affair. You got to get up early and get moving. I think we were up and out by 7 a.m. We had a blast. We just had a blast. We had a blast. And then, y'all, I'm going to tell a little bit about Deborah. And she knows, I told her I was going to talk about, I see my brother in here. Good morning to you. My brother, it's my biological brother, y'all. We're walking in and she knows everybody. Like there's even in college football games, I'm sure y'all know this, and maybe this is just new to me because the whole thing was new to me. It was a great experience. After 59 years, I made it in there. But they have like this area, which I'm like, what is this? The Hall of Fame of celebrity red carpet? Like, what is going on here? Deborah knew people. Like she was calling, they were seeing her. Hey, Deb. I was like, Deb, who don't you know? Then we get into the stadium, right? Y'all, you know, I'm used to sitting other places. Deb's like, I'm like, right here at the field? Like, what is happening? Like, seriously, y'all. Great seats, great fun, a lot of fun. The excitement inside. Now, y'all, it was 90 degrees outside, but it was a September 90, so it wasn't like humid. So it was bearable. We had a blast. And then I got my certificate as the first timer to attend an OSU football game. So I had a blast. I cannot thank Deborah Johnson enough. I am like, oh my gosh, how do I get back in that space? But it was fun. And again, she knows everybody. Deborah knows everybody. And I love that because she's so humble. I just had a blast. Even y'all, the ushers know Deborah, okay? The ushers know Deborah. I'm like, girl, who don't you know? So it was just fun. And she was introducing me to everybody. So if she was getting the picture, I was in the pictures too. She was like, come on, girl, get in the picture. I was like, oh my gosh, this is just phenomenal. So just to see Ryan Day, like y'all literally, Ryan Day walked in front of me. Like literally, Coach Ryan Day walked in front of me. It's like, who does that? So it was just a blast. Deborah says watching Gail was a treat. She knew I told her, I'm getting your last nerves. I was that excited. Absolutely excited. So I just want to say thank you. Good morning, Davia. And Marion Jackson says she participated in a book signing of her pastor's book, A Shepherd's Love by Pastor Vanessa. Am I saying that correctly? Vanessa Young. So congratulations. Let us know about the book. Send it to me so I can put it out there as well. I can also put it in the Friday rundown. I have no problem doing that. So again, that was my Saturday. Thank you, Deborah Johnson. And if y'all stick around to the inspirational message, I have so much more to share about how God is answering prayers. And speaking of that, Davy is doing a 10-day challenge, wellness challenge that started on Sunday. And it's from her book, A Month of Sundays. Several of you got a copy. Some of you won a copy from the Friday Rundown. We decided to do that again. So we purchased an additional 5 copies that we're going to do leading up to voting. So stay tuned. Starting October the 1st, we're going to be giving away books from Davia Williams Stevenson, as well as Devontae Goins and Marion Jackson. We can add your book, your pastor's book to the list as well. And others of you that have books, we want to do that. And we want to do books because we want people to read, especially since they're trying to ban books. Davia says Gail is naturally joyful. So I'm sure delighted. Gail was super fun. Listen, Davia, Deborah will have to physically tell y'all how I was acting, okay? She's going to have to physically tell you because I can't express it. I had so much fun. I was like, is this like we're 2 rows from the field? Like, what is happening here? It was so much fun. And then y'all, I got to say this part. See, Davia, you took me here. I got to share this part with y'all. Y'all hold on, I'm getting to the news. And it's going to be some seriously important news, okay? The band, the team was coming in. And I'm like wanting to take pictures, right? I want to turn on the video camera because I can touch them if I wanted to. Well, I wasn't that close. We were down by the field, but they were off to the side, to the corner. And Deborah said, girl, go on down there and take pictures. What? Go on, girl. I was like, Deb's in the house. I'm going down here and take pictures just to see them huddle and see Ryan Day and how they just kind of encourage people and how they come out. I was like, this is crazy. And then I was excited because a young lady by the name of Carolyn Rice, she was a speaker at my conference in 2019, and she's on the field. Listen, yeah, I was a kid. And my one sister said, girl, you acting just like a kid. Yeah, and that's why I stay young. Live the life. All right, y'all, let's get to some news. Everything's about voting. From the Lincoln Project, they are helping me put this together. I'm loving how these partnerships are coming along. Listen, y'all, here's the top, I think there's 6 or 7 states that we want to talk about with voting. Davia says you were cheesing so hard in that picture. Listen. Girl, leave me alone. I was excited. Arizona, important voting dates. Voter registration deadline is October the 7th. That's a deadline to register to vote by mail, online, and in person. This is Arizona. Absentee ballots, October the 25th. Deadline to apply for an absentee ballot for Arizona is October 25th. Early voting begins October the 9th for Arizona, and it will run to November the 1st. And then you also know that you have voting November the 5th from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. Florida. October the 7th is your deadline to register to vote by mail, online, and in person. Absentee ballot, October 24th. That's the deadline to apply for an absentee ballot. Early voting will begin October 26th and it will go to November the 2nd. That's in Florida. And of course, from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., November the 5th, that is your voting day. Voting day for everybody's November the 5th. I'm breaking it down to per state. Georgia, and we got some other news for Georgia as well. Y'all listen, Georgia, you can't play around here. Okay, Georgia, listen, you cannot play around. What's up, Kim Edmondson? You cannot play around here. I'll get to that in a few moments. Georgia, have a vote plan. Oh my gosh, please have a vote plan. Deadline to register to vote by mail, online, and in person is October the 7th. Absentee ballots, deadline to apply for absentee ballots in Georgia, October 25th. And early voting will go from October the 15th to November the 1st in Georgia, and then November the 5th. Listen, y'all, if you don't do the early, Georgia, y'all should all do early. Okay, just help my nerves. Can y'all all just go vote early? Because on November the 5th, they're going to be shutting down at 7. And now the rule is if you're in the line, you stay in the line until you get in, even if it becomes 8, 9, or 10 at night. Well, they got some other shenanigans going on. So please, can y'all just please show up early on the 5th or early vote, please. Michigan, October 21st is a deadline to register to vote by mail and online. November the 5th is a deadline to register to vote in person. So you can register to vote and vote in Michigan on the same day. But if you're mailing in your ballot or online, nah, that ain't happening. Absentee ballots. November the 1st is your deadline to apply for absentee ballot by mail. We're talking about Michigan. Deadline to apply for absentee ballots in person, November the 4th. Now, y'all, the reason that we're sharing this is because we look at dates and think that's it. No, when you go to your Secretary of State's office, it is extremely important that you read and you see this. So y'all, in Michigan, November the 1st and November the 4th, those are 2 different dates. 2 different dates and 2 different things that you're able to do. So please get an understanding. And if you're missing any of this, go to my fave, ballotpedia.org, and they'll break it down for you. Nevada, important voting dates for Nevada. October the 8th, deadline to register to vote in person and by mail. But in Nevada, they now have a change. It has to be postmarked. So if you know it's October the 8th and you're trying to get in there to get this done, walk into the post office, go up to the counter, and ask them to stamp that in your presence. Okay, don't just hand it to them and walk away. No, make sure they grab that stamp and stamp it and make sure they're putting it where it needs to go. Just here. Go before October 8th. Can you just please go before October 8th? November the 5th is a deadline to register to vote online, which means you can do it at the same time. Absentee ballots in Nevada, October 22nd. Deadline to apply for absentee ballot by mail. I know, if I'm not calling your state, just hang with me because there's other news that you're going to need. I see you, Lori. Voting, October the 19th through November the 1st is early voting for Nevada. And deadline to return absentee ballots in person. Voting opens from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Or if you're, of course, voting on that day, is November the 5th. Now, this is so strange to me. So I don't want to read it, but I'm going to read it to give y'all all the truth. November 9th, that's like so after the election. Deadline for absentee ballots to be received in the mail. Those are shenanigans. Can y'all mail y'all stuff? Here, this is the rule. When you get it in the mail, when it comes to your door, mailbox, and don't leave your mail stacking up this month and next month. Go to the mailbox. When you see it, go in your house, complete it, put your glasses on, make sure you got the right ink pen, make sure you got the right color, all that stuff. Go back in your car, get on the bus, call Uber, Lyft, whomever, go to the post office and deliver it. How about that? Let's just make it easy. Yeah, Kim Edmondson shenanigans. North Carolina, voter registration. October the 11th is a deadline to register by mail, online, and in person. Absentee ballots, October 29th, deadline to apply for an absentee ballot. I see you, Donita. Voting, October the 17th through the 2nd is early voting in North Carolina.
Oh, there's all kinds of shenanigans going over there. People on porn sites. The lieutenant governor is buck wild, but hey, that's what's happening.
All right, y'all. And then November 5th deadline to return absentee ballots in-person voting opens 6:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. Ohio. Deadline for voter registration to be postmarked. So if you're mailing it in October 6th, same thing. If you wait until October, first of all, don't wait.
Can you just not wait?
Can y'all do that today, tomorrow, this weekend, something? But if you have to wait till October the 6th, make sure you go into the post office and make sure they date stamp it in your presence. Don't just hand it to them and walk out. Wait for them to date stamp it in your presence. October the 7th is the last day to register for voter registration to be received in Ohio. I'm talking about Ohio.
I don't know about y'all, but on October the 8th, I'm going up here to Delaware. Who going with me? Because I don't want to go alone, so we can go handle that. My brother, who is speaking from the United States Post Office, says, please bring that to us at the USPS. We will be busy until November. He works there, y'all. He's in a serious position there, y'all. He works at the post office. He's telling y'all the truth. And that's just not in Ohio. That's everywhere. So he's saying, please bring your absentee ballot directly to the USPS. Y'all don't put it in the box. Don't do it. Don't do it. He said, we will be busy until November. Okay, so that's what you want to do. Absentee ballots, deadline to apply for absentee ballot in Ohio is October 29th. So let's stop right there. Let's pause for station identification. Some of you, my parents included, have received 2 absentee ballots in the state of Ohio. No one seems to know why. Only return 1. Don't destroy the other one. Hold on to it. Write on it. It's the second one you received. Listen, don't vote twice. Don't send it twice. Just send 1 and hold on to the other one. Seriously, there's a lot of confusion here in the state of Ohio. People are asking, why are we receiving 2 of these things? Do not turn into only 1. That is a trick, okay? I'm not trying to be conspiracy theorist or anything like that, but that's just odd. And that's a whole lot of taxpayer money that you sent 2. You sent 1 in August, and you turned around and sent 1 in early September. I see you, Mike Nicholson. Good morning. Been missing you. So y'all, absentee ballot, the deadline to apply is October 29th, okay? Which means if that's the deadline to apply, make sure it's in. Make sure it's in. Early voting starts October the 8th through November the 5th. They extended it. Well, hello there. For Ohio, that's new for Ohio. November the 4th, deadline for absentee ballot to be postmarked in the mail. Listen, don't wait. Y'all know the rules. If whatever date you have, y'all plan to do it 2 days before. Plan to do it 2 days before. What's up, Virgie? What's up? Donita says, why do we receive absentee ballots if we didn't request it? That too happened. Thank you, Donita. In Ohio, y'all shenanigans are off the chart in Ohio, okay? It's the weirdest thing. People are like, why do I have this? Do I have to do it this way? I've gotten a lot of text messages and DMs asking me that question. If you don't vote absentee, just hold on to it. Don't shred it. Don't throw it away. Don't do it. Just hold on to it. And then go and do what you regularly do. It's very interesting. I know a lot of people are calling, asking questions, and even the individuals at the desk don't have answers. Because I called, because I was trying to make sure I'm delivering the right information. And they're like, tell them don't do anything with it. Only send 1, only complete 1. Don't throw away the other. Write on it. This is the second one I received. They were like, they don't know. So if the employees don't know, I don't know what's happening. Plan your vote. You're right, Kim Emerson. Plan your vote. Mike Nicholson said, these classes, kids, and jobs been kicking my behind. Listen, we praying for you, and your baby girl is gorgeous. All right, y'all, November the 5th in Ohio, deadline to return absentee ballot in Dropbox. So wherever your drop box is, whatever county you're in, that's where you go and take that. November the 9th, deadline for absentee ballot to be received by mail. Y'all don't wait. Please don't wait. Can y'all do that like November 1st? Can y'all just do that? All right, y'all, I'm almost done with these. Pennsylvania,
Y'all need to say, yes, I'm going in person to the polls. Then don't do anything. Just hold on to it. Don't destroy it till after the election. Don't do anything with it. Pennsylvania voter registration deadline to register to vote by mail, online, and in person in Pennsylvania is October 21st. Deadline to apply for absentee ballot in Pennsylvania is October 29th. Early voting ends October 29th. I do not know when it begins. If I keep reading, I'll see. Start of early voting in Pennsylvania varies by county. So you need to check with your county to see when early voting begins in Pennsylvania. November the 5th, deadline to turn in your absentee ballots in person. Voting opens at 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. In Ohio, we are voting from 6:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. I'm almost done. Y'all got 2 more. Texas. Voter registration deadline to register to vote by mail and in person is October the 7th. If y'all notice, many of them are the first part of October. Absentee ballot deadline to apply in Texas is October 25th. There's all kinds of shenanigans going on in Texas. Please follow the rules, have the right ID, have everything you need. October the 21st to November the 1st is early voting in Texas. Deadline to postmark absentee ballots in the mail or return them in person is November the 5th. In-person voting opens at 7 a.m. That's Central Time in Texas, and 7 p.m. Central Time is when it will end. Deadline for absentee ballots to be received by mail, November the 6th in Texas. Can y'all just send them back November 1st? Yeah, we got to not look at the deadlines. Stop waiting for the deadlines. And my last one that I have for today, Wisconsin. Voter registration deadline is October the 16th. That's deadline to register by mail, to vote by mail and online. November the 5th is a deadline to register to vote in person, so you can do those on the same days. Absentee ballots, October 31st, deadline to apply for absentee ballot, regular and permanent overseas voters. But then November the 1st, deadline to apply for absentee ballot, indefinitely confined and military. That's Wisconsin. Early voting in Wisconsin will begin October 22nd, and it will go to November the 3rd. November the 5th, deadline to return absentee ballots. In-person voting opens 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. in Wisconsin. Again, if you missed any of those things, just watch the replay. I'm also, because I've signed something with the Lincoln Project, I've been sending them to my Instagram story so that you can see them. I'm also grabbing them. I'm also sharing them if somebody's asking me about them. We will put as many of these as we possibly can in the Friday rundown, but we don't want to just stack this with just all voting information. So do your due diligence as well. Again, go to ballotpedia.org to learn more. What's up, Shirley Nicholson? All right, so let's go back to Georgia for a moment. Before I do that, poll workers, I can't even think of the name of the organization, the one that we partnered with, Power to the Polls, the one that we partnered with last year, and actually for a while now, there's a dire need for election poll workers. They're begging for poll workers. So if this is something that you have time, you can take time off work, you have the patience to do it. It is a long day. Consider signing up. There are new rules now. You have to work within the county that you live, and it has to be within your district, which I think is just shenanigans even more, because if you're in need for poll workers in certain areas, maybe the people who live there are unable to do it. Maybe they're senior citizens. Maybe they're in senior living facilities. Maybe they are bedridden. Maybe they are in poverty areas and they can't get to and from. Maybe all kinds of things. So there's a shortage, and y'all know the rules. I shared this over the past few years since we've been on the air, and that is they will begin to close the polling locations in the marginalized areas first, because that's where they're lacking workers. So you want to pay attention to that. In addition to that, Georgia is in dire need. If y'all remember in the primaries, I was reading to you all where they were like begging workers because they only had one or two, and they had thousands of people that will be coming through the door. Well, to add to it, Georgia Election Board passed a controversial hand count rule. They're not the only ones. Arizona has done it as well, and Nebraska may soon follow. Yeah, we gotta pray. The shenanigans has begun. Okay, so this is a direct quote from the USA Today from Alicia Bacati. And the spelling's different, so if I mess it up, please forgive me. But it's Aisha. Excuse me, Aisha. Thanks, Dominic. Aisha Bacati. A controversial rule, and I'm doing a direct quote so I don't miss anything, passed by Georgia State Election Board on Friday, will require that all of the states, all of the states voting precincts to hand count ballots and ensure the tallies match machine counts before their deadline to certify election results. The rule has sparked bipartisan criticism, and then Georgia Secretary of State Brad Rassenberger, y'all remember they kind of put him in the back burner because he didn't find those 11,000 votes or whatever, 7,000, whatever he told him to find. A Republican said on August 15th on a statement that having polling locations hand count ballots jeopardizes ballot security and risks dangerous delays. Now, that's the man who got the job, who has the background and the expertise to say what he's saying. He also goes on and says a quick reporting of results is a hallmark of Georgia's election administration and bolsters voter confidence. Delays in results create a vacuum that leads to misinformation and disinformation. Now, the former occupant of the Oval came out and praised the people, the Republican board members who passed a series of last-minute changes per his request, calling them pit bulls fighting for victory. Now, President Biden, if you're listening, or if any of y'all know him, can you go ahead and tap into that immunity that the Supreme Court of the United States gave homeboy? Can you go ahead and tap into it and make some changes so that we have a fair election? But listen, if anybody's tuning in saying, well, that's why I don't vote, no, we need your voice and vote now more than ever before. Now, both Georgia and Arizona will both require election workers to hand count ballots at polling sites on election day. Election officials says it could delay the reporting of results, and if they do not get them in a timely manner, they won't be counted or added to the count. Nebraska is soon to follow. So as Kim Edmondson said already in the chat, and I'm going to say it again here, have a vote plan, y'all. In Georgia, election workers will have to hand count the number of ballots to cast after voting is completed. In North Carolina, y'all hear me, in North Carolina, some students and university staff can use their digital IDs to vote. However, not all voting jurisdictions will allow them. So know what you can and can't do. This is why I'm begging all of you, and I'm going to get on your last nerves until November 5th. I'm telling you now. So if you don't want to hear me, just turn me off. But I believe you're going to want this information because I don't know anyone else who's telling you what I'm sharing with you or taking the time to share with you. And that is this. Have a vote plan. What's a part of a vote plan? A vote plan is where you're going. Where's your precinct? What time do they open? What type of ID do they accept? I'm going to give you an example. Deb, I'm going to talk about this. Talk about me. On Saturday, you know, they now have rules about what kind of bags you can bring into a stadium, okay? I have a little black bag, and I had ordered a clear bag online from Amazon that was supposed to like drop ship in my yard like at 8 p.m. on Friday night. It never did. It never showed up. Deborah, when I got home, it was here, but it never showed up. So I'm like, what am I doing? So I'm like, okay, I'll just have to spend some money. And if I'm on campus, it's going to cost more, all of that. Deb said something. I was like, you're right, Deb. I'm telling you, Deb knows everybody. She said, girl, if they don't take your bag, then we're going to go to another gate. I was like, okay. But even with that, we were measuring my bag, and it was really just maybe a half of centimeter over the actual size. And it, you know, I was not trying to not get into the stadium, okay? So I was going to do whatever that was needed. But that was my bag. But we were checking to make sure my bag, the purse that I had, was going to be accepted. I went through all of that to measure a purse to get into a stadium. Your voice, your vote in this upcoming election should be more important than a purse that you take into a stadium, okay? So take the time. What type of ID? What's accepted? Do you need to have some sort of utility bill? Do you need to show proof of address? Do you need to have a backup with that? Do you know the numbers? We're going to be inundating you all with all kinds of numbers to have. We're going to ask you to place them put them on your person somewhere so that you have them, put them in your phone, share them with other people. We're trying to get some news in motion postcards to put this information on and pass out. We need to get those within the next week so that we have to ship them to somebody we can so that you can have these things. But that's a vote plan. Where are you going? What time are you going? What are you going to wear? Do you have, let's go to my list. Do you have your battery charge, your portable battery charge for your cell phone? Do you have your bottled water? In Georgia, y'all can't pass water out, okay? Do you have the food? Do you have your necessary medication? How long are you going to be in line? Do you have your umbrella? Do you have a seat to sit on? Whatever. That's a vote plan. Have your plan now. Latrice says you don't have enough people to work the polls. How are you going to have enough people to hand count the votes by the deadline? And Latrice, that's the question. That is the question. Dr. Antoinette remembers the list. She says no tuna, no eggs. Listen, if it's hot outside, no tuna, y'all. Y'all can't do that. Y'all cannot do that. And we'll have more of that list coming up, and I'm going to adjust it a little bit. But one is going to remain on there. Leggings, no tights. Leggings, no tights. So y'all have a vote plan that is so, so important. All right, y'all, the House of Representatives. Government shutdown. Congressional leaders announced an agreement Sunday on a short-term spending bill that will fund federal agencies for about 3 months. This is old. Y'all know y'all do this every year. Come on, we got to do better than this. Better than this. Y'all, this is your vote plan. Who are you voting for to make sure you don't have to go through this every year at the same time and you have to vote, not vote, get mad, fire people, this, that, and the other. Come on. These are lives. These are lives that we're dealing with. Dr. Antoinette said, take your medications and leave your man catcher shoes at home. I like that. I'm adding that, but I'm still in that. I'll give you credit, but I'm still in that. All right, y'all. So they will do it. It will begin October the 1st, pushing the final decisions until after November election. Temporary spending bills generally fund agencies at current levels, but an additional $231 million was included to bolster the Secret Service after 2 assassination attempts against Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump. And additional money was added to aid the presidential transition, among other things. Stop right there. I just need to share this too. And I don't talk about it, but I want to say this today. There were 2 known assassination attempts against Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump. But let's not forget, there's been life-threatening attempts and conversations about Vice President Kamala Harris. So I don't want anybody thinking it's just one person. Now, she hasn't been out there where it actually happened, but hey, they have found these things on the channels and dealt with them beforehand. On the floor, House HR 7630, which is accelerating networking, cyber infrastructure, and hardware. They're calling it an Anchor Act. This is out of Congress. And I need y'all to pay attention to this. Please pay attention to this. Please pay attention to this. As it's opening, thank you. The short title says, this act may be cited as an accelerating network, cyber infrastructure, and hardware, or the Anchor Act. Now, they're talking about cyber attacks. They're talking about plan to improve cybersecurity and telecommunication of the U.S. academic research fleet. They're talking about no later than a year after the date of enactment, the director, in consultation with the federal. I want y'all to hear this. This is a bill. This is a bill. Where was I? Own and operates a vessel of the U.S. academic research fleet shall submit to the committee of Commerce, Science, and Transportation of the U.S. Senate and a Committee on Space, Science, and Technology of the U.S. House of Representatives a plan to improve cybersecurity and telecommunication of the academic research field. Y'all got that right? Federal agency owners, head of the federal agencies, and the head of the university laboratories. The head, the federal. Okay, well, let's go here. Page 155 of Project 2025 says otherwise. It talks about to eliminate the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, which is the CISA, involvement in countering misinformation and disinformation. Y'all want to eliminate anything countering misinformation and disinformation? This means that the government will abandon its role as the arbiter of truth. What? You don't want to have truth? And the American people will be exposed to more lies and manipulation. Y'all, it's written right there on page 155 of Project 2025. So on one hand, the House, it has enacted a bill, the Anchor Act, talking about cybersecurity. But if the other person gets into the office and they implement Project 2025, they will eliminate Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, which is the CISA, that's Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency. So when you see CISA, that's what it means. Involvement in countering misinformation and disinformation. This means that the government will abandon its role, and the American people will be more exposed to lies and manipulation. Page 155 of Project 2025. Mike Nicholson said, shoot, we still recovering from cyber attacks on the city. Listen, how many of us were compromised in the latest cyber attack? Just recently with our Social Security numbers, bank accounts, and everything else. So y'all, I share this to say, not to make you afraid, to know. If you get the Friday rundown, I continue to put the link to the 880, I don't even know how many pages anymore, to 922 pages of this Project 2025. So I pull it out, y'all. It's written in there verbatim, just what I said to you. Just what I said. Read it. The reason I'm doing it on here, giving you a snapshot, is because I realize a lot of people choose not to read. Also on the floor yesterday was Mathematical and Statistical Modeling Education Act, which is a very interesting one. That's 1735 if you want to read it. And the other one that was very interesting was 7073, HR 7073, Next Generation Pipelines Research and Development Act. Believe you me, you want to read that one too. And that one also brings in HBCUs. Y'all, I'm almost done. I was going to talk about HBCUs, but I'm going to hold that till tomorrow since I am running out of time. Now, if you don't know, let me tell you now, CBS News reports that murders in the U.S. fell 11.6% year over year in 2023. They ain't talking about that, are they? The latest single year decline in 2 decades, according to new FBI data. Overall, violent crime dropped 3% in 2023, while motor vehicle thefts rose 12.6%. All right. I also will talk about Wall Street tomorrow, but just to give you just a thought on that, which takes me to my inspirational message. And I said, if y'all stay on, you'll get to the inspirational message, and I got something to share with you. On yesterday was day 2 of Davia's challenge on wellness from her book, A Month of Sundays. And I put in there my 3 things that I was grateful for. And I tagged Latrice Jones. I tagged Deborah Johnson. I also tagged Apostle Anita. And one of my items included the prayers of the righteous. The prayers of the righteous availeth much. First of all, everyone who has purchased a copy of Inspire, a Call to Action, thank you. If you saw my Instagram post yesterday, some random person out of nowhere wanted to order 100 books, and they wanted to know, they said, we're not really looking for a discount, but is there a way I said, look, you ordering 100 books, you're going to get a discount. So I ordered them. When I went through the back office of Ingram, because I'm a publisher with Ingram, a publishing house with Ingram, boutique, not house, with Ingram, I never check these. I just don't. I don't know why. I got to do better. I checked them and I saw the report. I said, what? Yeah, we are knocking on from March the 1st. We are knocking on. We're not there yet. We're extremely close. We are knocking on having sold 25,000 copies of Inspire, a call to action. When I say floored, I was floored. But that's God. The prayers of the righteous availeth much. I've been praying for things for years, like sometimes 25, 30 years, and they're starting to unfold. They're starting to unfold. And I'm sharing this with you today to say never give up on God. Never, ever, ever give up on God. I would have never known that report until that check came, but I would have never known that report. Now, the disadvantage of being a publishing boutique, I don't get the same privileges as publishing houses. These are the traditional publishing houses. So where they are cutting checks every month, I have to wait every 120 days. And it depends upon which month, and that's how they send it out. Hey, it's still cool. It's still cool. So as Everbloom is unfolding, a part of Everbloom, and if you haven't been following that, go to my Instagram. A part of Everbloom is that I have prayed, and God gave me Everbloom while I was off back in August, the first day of August, in a dream. And it has simply been unfolding ever since. One of the petals of the flower would be to give scholarships. So next May 2025, several people are going to get some serious scholarships out of Everbloom because God has been unfolding some things. He's been unfolding some things. So a week ago, I was in New York. And I wanted to understand the PPI, the GDP, the CPI, the farm report, the retail report, etc. When I go to New York, I go to New York to shop, to go see plays, this, that, and the other. This time was different. I went with a friend of mine who I've been friends with for over 40 years. We went there for Fashion Week, okay? Amazing. We were in the house on Fashion Week with some Black designers. Outstanding. Outstanding. I'll talk more about that tomorrow. Outstanding. So one thing that I dreamed of going, a prayer of mine, the prayers of the righteous availeth much. A prayer of mine, I've always wanted to go to the Met, the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Never been. I've been in New York, I don't know how many times as the age of 59. I went to the Met. My friend said, where are we going today? I said, you know where I want to go? She goes, you like museums? I said, I love museums. Love them. We went and had a blast at the Met. Never been. God has been answering prayers. The other place I wanted to go on Wall Street, I've been in Financial District. I wanted to go ring the bell. Well, I couldn't ring the bell. And then we found out when we were there that the 100 Black Women Coalition rung the bell the day before. So we missed that. We were just looking at the list of people who were there that week. Wall Street is phenomenal. Now, here's my thesis, and this is a part of the inspirational message today. Here's my thesis statement, and that is, who's more powerful in the U.S., Wall Street or the White House? I'm not sure which one is most powerful. I'm not sure at all. Yes, Shirley Nicholson, God's favor. I'm not sure which one's more powerful. Everything, the farm report, the retail report, the gross domestic product, the producer price index, the consumer price index, all of that dictates everything else that's going on. Inflation. I know we're over time, but hold on, y'all. Inflation. Do y'all know how much a box of cereal costs? And see, we want to blame the White House or the administration on the food prices. No. It's the companies like Kellogg, General, whatever it's called for the Cheerios, all them. No, do you know how much they gave to their CEOs? And I'm not hating on CEOs, should get paid, but it's 500 times more than what they paid their staff, their employees that are constantly in the place doing the job. Kroger. Let's talk about Kroger. I looked up numbers. I'm like, what? And how much are the employees making? Like, make this make sense. If y'all are following this merger with Kroger, it will blow your mind and you'll wonder why it's being halted. They're like, well, we might going to delay this. Now the DOJ is getting involved. Y'all, all of this is connected to voting. You cannot separate it. You cannot separate this. Not at all. So we have to think about our prayers and how we're praying, because I believe prayer is major in everything that's going on. Prayer for revelation knowledge. Prayer to reveal things that maybe we don't want to know, but we need to know. It's like, I don't want to know that. Yeah, we do need to know. The vetting process for Wall Street is crazy. Absolutely crazy. They even have a red carpet out there for you to walk up in when you go, but crazy. And I'm thinking, well, what's behind these doors? Well, it's everything financial. The Federal Reserve building was right there. The Bank of the Federal Reserve, like this is right here. Y'all, the history that is on that street and on Wall Street, on the financial district, the hotel, Wall Street Hotel, everything that's connected. And for all of my TJ Maxx shoppers, listen, the TJ Maxx on Wall Street, unbelievable. Yes, I went in there. Unbelievable. We don't have a TJ Maxx that look anything like the TJ Maxx on Wall Street. I was like, this is TJ Maxx. Like this is where we are. This is what's happening. Y'all, we're missing a lot. So this is how I want to ask you to pray for yourself today. And God's been revealing some things to me. Lori says, go Jesus. That's amazing. Inspiration is being shared across the country. And that's exactly where I'm going, Lori. Thank you for that. All of us who say that we want more, start walking in that more. Start praying for that more. Deborah Johnson and I had a conversation. We were talking about breakthroughs. Some people are receiving breakthroughs from prayers from 30 years ago. But don't just wait on the breakthrough. Start walking in that breakthrough. God had to show me the other day, and I wrestled with how much of this I was going to share with you. And I feel I can do it, so I'm going to share some of this with you. Me and God's been wrestling. He's like, why do you reserve the gifts, the talents, the accomplishments, the victories that I have given to you? He said, you don't have to be boastful. He said, that's a lie that, we talk about, love, we got to just be humble. We can't share. He goes, that's not what that means at all. He said, you are diminishing who I am as God in your life when you're not telling the story. And I said, but guys, sometimes this is how me and Jesus talk. Jesus, sometimes people can't handle it. God replied to me, that's their problem, not yours. Maybe your story will encourage someone. And I thought, wow. And hear me, I've been in famine. I mean, some serious famine. Like, how we going to pay rent before we even got a house? How we going to pay the car note? My car used to put in park at the light so it wouldn't cut off. Back in the day, I've been in some famine. I've been where I didn't have a car. I've been where we could not eat. I've been there. But God has also blessed over and over and over again. My 13-year-old daughter, when she was 13, she's now 30. She said to me when I asked her when she was 12, what do you want for your 13th birthday? She said, I want to go to New York, because I was going to New York off and on. I said, you want to do what? We went to New York. Some of you have been wondering, how did I get in the media? I've been in media for years. At 13, we walked in the Today Show. I spoke to everybody in there. She got passes to come back the following week to see Chris Brown when he was young and he was new. She got those because of the connections in media that I've been in. I've never really shared that story with anybody. God showed me that story when we were having our prayer time the other day. He said, share it. Someone needs to see it's taking you from your daughter age, really 10 to 30, to do what you're doing now. It didn't happen overnight. And Deborah used a word yesterday when we were in a conversation. She said, so many people want instant, but it takes time. You have to develop it. Sometimes it fails. But that failure is like looking at it, not so much a failure, but okay, here's where I need to make some adjustments. This is where some things need to be redirected or rerouted. This is the adjustment season, the adjustment period. Listen, when I saw the report of the books, literally, I was like, is this an error? I called them, is this an error? They're like, no, girl, that's how many books, that's how my rep talks. No, girl, you are jamming on this book. It took 15 titles to get to that. That means I had 14 other books People still buy them and they read them and they say they're good, but it didn't take off like Inspire, a call to action. Listen, y'all, 14 times, it took me to 15 to be able to say I have a book that's doing this. And trust me, that's nothing to the big time authors. Nothing.
I'm talking, I'm hitting on 25,000. They're saying I'm hitting on 25 million.
I'm not there. But don't diminish where you are and what you're doing. I hope this touched somebody today. Seriously. God says that we're to live in abundance. We're not acting or living abundance because we're shrinking back or minimizing who we are and what God has for us. That changes today because every name I see in this chat, and then everyone, if you're on the audio listening, just email me, DM me when you get settled or whatever. I'm going to start a new prayer wall because I have a wall of prayer in my house. I'm going to start a new prayer wall, and I don't care how long it takes. I don't know if I have to print it off and cut them out. Every name is going on that prayer wall because together I want us all to succeed. All of us to succeed. Latrice, I don't know if you're still on here, but y'all, Latrice has a gift that nobody even knows about. And I'm praying that that gift comes forth today in a way that it's never come forth before. Davia's book just released. I'm praying that her book sells millions of copies, millions upon millions. That's just the beginning. Devontae, I don't know if he's on here or not. The same with him. Regina Short says God's timing, God's will and perfect plan. Regina, walk in your anointing. It's huge. Don't miss it. Lori, your business, let it soar. Stop holding back. Stop holding back because of what you think people will think. I have no idea where that just came from, but that's for you. Deborah Johnson, your gift of humility far exceeds anything that anybody could believe. I'm still talking about you, talking about you to all my family members. Like, this is Deborah Johnson. I've known this girl for 12 years. This is Deborah Johnson. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. Everything that you're doing is adding not only a jewel to your crown for heaven, but you're being known as a jewel here on earth. Don't minimize that. Marian, your ministry is outstanding. Keep doing it. It may seem like nothing to you, but it is huge. Keep doing it. I don't know if I think Robert Holman's name was on here, and I don't know if Jeffrey Payne's on here, but if y'all have not seen The Forge, men, go see The Forge, the movie The Forge. Then gather some young men. Gather other brothers, white, black, Asian, Latino, whatever. Grab some other brothers. Mike Nicholson, you're on here. Start with your sons. Pray. Make that a part of your daily lives. Pray. Seriously, y'all. If someone says to you, and I got to give credit to Deborah for this. If someone says to you, oh, girl, you got it going on. You say, I do. Now, some of y'all be like, oh, no, I don't. Yeah, I do. Because because of the Jesus in me, I do have it going on. I do. Y'all stop minimizing and stop shrinking back. In this election, this is our season. As other people are being elevated, we are as well. All right, y'all. I didn't mean to go through. Yeah, I did. I ain't gonna apologize for that. Y'all know what I say. Stay well, everyone. And remember, make some bold moves. Tomorrow we will have Devontae Goins with his new book that's doing phenomenal. And it's an excellent read, especially during this election season. And I'm waiting to hear back from somebody for Thursday, where I want to talk with people who are on the ground in Springfield, Ohio, to talk about how we can come along and join the Haitian community there to support their businesses. But I want somebody who has firsthand knowledge, so I'm just waiting on them to get back to me. Hopefully we will have them on Thursday. All right, y'all, until tomorrow, I'm out.
Induce emotion.